Good morning. Cool, crisp, and definitely the fall is upon us. Falling leaves to rake, falling rain tracking mud into the kitchen, and rising numbers of COVID and the flu on the way. Now, there is nothing we can do about the leaves or the rain, but COVID is eminently manageable. We proved that as numbers dropped, as masks became accepted, and 6 feet didn't seem so distant anymore. But one of the key elements to this success has gone missing. We hear all the time about the younger generation's lack of self-discipline, and some of our own as well. But are any of them listening? And if they are, they hear that they probably won't even have any symptoms if they do get COVID. So why worry? Is it the lack of empathy or a lack of self-discipline that is so evident in some behaviors? Mad fools tearing up Sauble Beach in their dragsters in complete disregard of the locals or anyone else. My neighbors with their Airbnb blaring pounding music across the few feet from their party to my bedroom in the wee Sunday hours. A Markham mansion with hookers and drugs and casino, or a crowded strip joint on Yonge Street. It is all the same self-indulgence and a complete disregard for the health of anyone else with whom the patrons come into contact. The setting may be determined by the wealth of the participant, but the idiocy and outcome is still the same. And while they may end up with a fine, they may also end up carrying away COVID and share it with you or me or someone for whom it will prove deadly. But they've had their night out, so what's the problem? And yet, while I bemoan the selfish stupidity of those who are indifferent to their impact on others, I admit that it does get tiresome. Always thinking about the impact of your everyday actions, when every day has gone all a kilter. When I walk to the corner to mail an envelope, out of courtesy, I step into the street when passing another, unless we both have our masks on. Conversation with the neighbors are heard by everyone. You can't have a whispered secret from 6 feet away. At best, it's a cupcake birthday. Can't have sharing and can't have parties. You can't even sing happy birthday at church anymore. Well, the reality is you can't sing anything at church anymore, or even chant psalms too loudly. And how many times have you had to walk back to your car because you forgot your mask? I do it daily. Not being able to get on the bus because your mask is in your other jacket is inconvenient at best, but your annoyance is directed at all around you. Somehow it's the little things that constantly pop up that are the distressing points. The enormity of well over 1 million people dead and 35 million infected around the world is just too much to grasp. The brain just does not know how to compute such numbers. The fact that only one child has died, but thousands of seniors have, is beyond our individual ability to change, and worrying about it solves nothing. And so our world divides into what we can do nothing about and the trivia that overwhelms us. This whole mess is not our fault. We did not create the virus in some lab. We did not spread it worldwide. We pay attention to all the health authorities, even when they contradict each other and themselves. It just seems so unfair. Thanksgiving comes next weekend, but unless you have a small family, not all of you are going to be able to get together. For some, that's a small price to pay to keep Granddad healthy. But for others, it's breaking the traditions of a lifetime and is almost too hard to bear. And then there's Halloween looming at the end of the month. Door knocking is out. Handing out treats is out. Fancy dress-up parties are out. Where in the world is the treat part of the trick or treat? Judge not, lest ye be judged. It's a great philosophy. Certainly keeps you out of lots of arguments and makes for a lot more friends. But my challenge to you is to do some judging of yourself. Because when we are spending so much time alone, or with a very small group of family or friends, a group that we get to choose, it's very easy to be surrounded by those who agree with you and all your prejudices, which is never a healthy thing. And remember, prejudices belong to both left and right, religious and non-religious, the good and the bad. Alternatively, some find themselves get stuck at home with family, including siblings who rouse ancient envies and incite fury on the old battlegrounds of childhood, or parents who make us feel 14 and defiant all over again. Except this time it's your house, and Mom and Dad can't admit how much they need your care. Yes, times they really are a-changin'. So this really is the battle call for this time of the second wave and the great impatience of the generations and the fear and the dread and the fury. Overcome yourself. Look at it from the other perspective and act the way you would like others to treat you. Put on the mask. Smile with your eyes. Don't impose your bad humors or disappointments or fears on others. Stop complaining. Just suck it up and get on with it. They say that sacrifice is good for the soul. Well, it is. So is self-discipline. Try it. Self-control is also good for the space you inhabit in this world. And it helps everyone get through these tough days. When I start feeling sorry for myself, I find it helps to occasionally look at what is going on in the rest of the world. I imagine being a refugee tossed on the Mediterranean, or being a parent in Beirut in Lebanon with no food to feed my children, and then the babe dies in my arms. Or imagine being in Italy a few months back when the reality for the bereaved was army trucks picking up loads of bodies from the hospitals, transporting them to the cemeteries where the grave diggers use backholes round the clock to create trenches for the bodies. No ceremony, no family, only mass strangers and machines to provide that final farewell. So let's stop feeling so sorry for ourselves. Let's stop retreating from the world into enclaves without challenge. Let's get serious about working to get back to the office or the plant or the fields, instead of finding security only in working at home forever. Let's sign up our children for school so that they can grow with friends and relationships, as well as math and Shakespeare. Let's put on our armor and engage in commerce. Get our milk from the corner store and the cookies at the baker's and the eggs from the farmer's market while washing our hands and wearing our masks, our armor. If we want a world to return to, we have to protect ourselves and our neighbors and our neighborhood businesses. That means masks and hand washing and distancing, but not retreating from the world. For the day will come when this will all come to an end. There will be a rainbow, for God gives us sunshine after the rain. But it's up to us to ensure the kind of world it will be when we finally emerge to all its glory. And the best thing that we can do is to stop dwelling on our fears and self-indulgence and get back to the strengths we learned as we grew up. To be patient, to care for others, to look on the bright side, and never forget for one moment how blessed we all are. So may it be. Amen. And don't forget, this is a day that ends in a Y. So take some time to think about why it is important to get in touch with God. See you.